All right, and now we're back here. So my plan is essentially, if we take that off the lift, they should all kind of reset. There we go. So my plan, right, is to take this whole thing with the rockets and all that. I'm gonna put a second bearing on top of this little middle bit, and then hook it up to a controller, and have the controller offset it. So basically, we'll have like four more of these things lying just on top of these. I hope you can kind of see the little crosshairs when I'm indicating. But yeah, essentially like yeah, that kind of little bit in there. We'll have a second one on top. We'll offset it by 45, and then we'll be able to fit more rotors on top of this. Should look pretty cool. So might as well get started, and I figure we can maybe talk a little bit more about kind of the developer update and where this game is heading, and maybe some game design in general. I don't know. We'll come up with some fun stuff to cover while I fiddle around with this. The so the development blog, right? It just came out. Pretty significant changes. They're not only are they adding in paints and kind of some more of the decoration type blocks, but we're also going to see, and this is like, let me get this is something I'm really excited about. Is they're starting to add in. They're talking about doing survival mode, and they're gearing up for it. And they have well, they put out some artwork. Oh, let's try to keep it even. I guess I put the controllers on. Oop. There it goes. Yeah. Let's get these guys on first, and so, anyways, they're gearing up to release Survival. Now, I will definitely be doing a Survival series. In fact, that's my preferred play mode in almost anything. I get way more satisfaction if I feel like, oh, I'm the one who went and had to like chop down all the trees and dig up all the minerals. And I mean, I do not play creative mode at all on Minecraft, and I'm not like crapping all over it. I think creative mode is people have done some, I mean, wonderful things with it. Like especially when they get into the really crazy projects, with world edit and building giant space turtles and just all kinds of amazing stuff. The thing is, it's just for me. I like the sense of accomplishment of building big and or interesting things, but also having to go out and collect the resources and kind of live off the land. To me, I think that's a very compelling story. It, like, I'm sure people can tell. Why all the clanging? Jeez, I get that it's unbalanced, but cool your jets, man. Yeah, we'll be there in a second with adding on this stuff, and I do like the noises, but sometimes, oh my gosh, like never build anything on a hillside because if anything drops on the ground, it just you hear clank, 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 clank. It's such a disaster. Like it echoes, and by the way, they do have echoes in this game. I've noticed actually when I was doing there's you might have seen my other video of the glitch when I was working on that you can actually hear echoes across the valley and stuff, which is very cool, very cool touch. But yeah, if you're up on say a hill or something and you drop an item and it's just rolling down the hill and hitting rocks and all that, it's the biggest disaster. Like everyone in the immediate area is going to know, oh, he goofed up again, and just it's like, gosh, it's like those classic like scenes in movies where someone's trying to be quiet, and like Bean or whatever, that British comedian, like he's just trying to like sneak around or whatever. I think Pink Panther. Gosh, I'm showing my age. I don't think many people. I don't think many people like are have even seen the Pink Panther. To be honest, I think it's. I'm just gonna pull these off. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of old school slapstick comedy, but definitely, if you're into that kind of thing, check it out. It's pretty good. Um, it's kind of a parody on detective stories, and but with an incompetent, bumbling fool for the detective. I don't know. It has nothing to do with Panthers or like anything being colored pink. Like, that's just kind of a what they. Well, it's basically a parody of a red herring. If you're not familiar with the term, a red herring is essentially something you put into a story and or plot that seems like it's significant and meaningful, but it ends up being none of those things. So let's see. So it's something like, gosh, I'm trying to think of a good red herring. Gosh, off the top of my head, I'm great getting stuck. Off the top of my head, name a good herring, go. Good red herring, go. Um, I don't know. Okay, this isn't. I don't think this quite matches the definition, but you know how they make it out to be such a big deal in the movie The Titanic. That blue diamond or whatever. Oh, okay. Shoot, the too many bearings. So there is a limit, and the limit is 10. So now you know. You can only hook 10 things up to one controller, which is fine. It's no big deal. Of course, it does make it kind of. Kind of wish I'd put like all the top ones. Let's see. Yeah, can I unhook this? Okay. I'm gonna have to like redo some of this. I only reason I'm redoing this is sorry, connect. Gosh, see, sometimes the lines get a little tricky to follow. But anyway, yeah, the Titanic movie. How they make a big deal about the blue diamond, and you think it's gonna be some kind of like crazy mystery, like what happened to the blue diamond? Like, is it still down there? Are the guys exploring it gonna get rich off of it? And then it turns out, like in the very end, like it really didn't matter to the plot much. It was just kind of a device that they had. It's not the greatest example because I guess it had some meaning and significance, but it's kind of like that though. Like it's the idea is a red herring is something that you think is going to be important. It's going to show up all the time, so you pay attention to it, and that turns out to be none of those things. Uh, right. I actually this one needs to be hooked up. It's getting so crowded on there. This one needs to be hooked up because that's how we're going to set up. Oh gosh. For now, let's just do everything 45. See if that does anything. It should. See, this is actually a good tip. Don't attach stuff before you do the rotation. Here we go. Yeah, it worked. Worked like a charm. You see that? Now we have 8 blades coming off of one thing. Now, the reason why I was giving you that advice about the rotation stuff, so, okay, I put it on that way, but I can just hook up, well, let me grab a rocket engine. Rocket engine. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, excuse me, thruster. And now I can just hook it up wherever the heck I want. That side, whatever. So yeah, that's something like I kind of wish like I had learned that before I was like, because it gets after a while like having to go through and readjust all the angles of stuff. It's so annoying. Oh, I missed one. Okay, let's hook it up. Did I miss that? What? 9. Oh, it's not hooked up to that one. It's hooked up to... Huh. Over here, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, and it doesn't do anything to the balance or whatever when you attach stuff to controllers, so you don't have to worry about that. But as you can see, I now have our initial setup is going to have way more rockets on it. It's actually kind of encouraging that this works because I think I'm going to need that many to lift like the massive vehicle I'm thinking of building. I mean, I'm thinking of building something that can pick up a house and fly away with it. So I'm pretty glad to see we found an efficient way to attach a whole bunch of extra thrusters to our helicopter thing. The other thing, like, I'm hoping that they'll eventually add, like, going forward to, yeah, again, get used to me, like, forgetting what I'm talking about and then getting back to it. That's part of the fun. um, but, um, yeah, I'm really hopeful that going forward in the future, right, that we actually get basically dedicated airplane bits, like propellers and rotors. Um, I would love to see functional duct fans and things of that nature. And I think we will actually probably see stuff. Why didn't it's? Oh, it. Okay. Jeez. I need to get that one. Nope. That. Okay. Yeah, and so much of this is just going through and figuring out, okay, what part needs to be attached to a controller and clutch. Do, do. I also kind of wish that you could pick up a controller, move it to a different part of the vehicle, and then reattach it without losing all these connections. Oh my god. It would be so helpful. Just having to rebuild all those connections every time I want to do like a slight adjustment to something. It's no good. It really needs, and I'm sure they're working on stuff of that nature because, I mean, eventually people get kind of just tired of it. It's a good game, and I love the controls, and for the most part, they did a great job. It's just there's little like just improving like builders' lives. Like there's some things that uh-oh. Don't fall over yet. I gotta get over to that side. Will topple? Okay. You can tell I've added a lot of extra weight to it. As it's like a leaning tower of disaster. Do do do. Okay, getting these all hooked up. Now, the problem of this rotor getting frozen, you can see is not an issue because I have the doubles. So, to answer my question, yes, if I still struggle with it starting initially off at a bad angle, I can definitely fix it the way I described. And it slowly but surely rights itself. That's so cool. Okay, now the last thing is I need to hook up all these new thrusters, which, ooh, that actually might be an issue. Yeah, because I think the controller has limits too. Well, we'll find out soon. And if it does, yeah, I think it does actually. Well, okay, it looks like all of those are now hooked up. Yes. Well, if it does, there's a way to fix that, I think, and that would be trying to hook all these up to controllers and then switches, and you know, it'll get complicated, but it should be doable. So far, so good. I think that did it. Okay. Well, now, so yeah, getting back on topic a little bit before we test this flight out. They've released some details about survival mode. Now, it looks like we're basically on this planet. We work for this corporation that apparently wants to, drill the earth, and there's all these farms around, and normally farming is handled by the robots, but the robots are in rebellion and very angry for some reason. We'll find out. And in survival, it looks like what you do is you come down here and you either fight the robots or possibly capture them and then reprogram them. And they do all the harvesting, all the farming, all the digging. Like they handle all the obnoxious collection stuff. And you basically run a factory. That is so cool. I do like the harvest aspect of it, but of Minecraft or other builders. There's plenty of other builders out there. It's not just Minecraft. That just happens to be the one I play the most. But I mean, there's some good zombie ones. Ark Survival Evolved is another one that I love. That probably comes down to the fact that I'm a big dinosaur buff. Actually, my love of science started because as a kid, got my hands on some dinosaur books, and I was hooked from there. So, even to this day, I actually, one of the big reasons why I went through the difficulty of double majoring in physics and biology was I just wanted to learn a lot more about evolution and paleontology and just all the recent discoveries in biology in general. And if you're interested in science, trust me, it's worth pursuing, even though it can get very it can be tough. I mean, you're gonna be pulling some nights in college where you have to sit down and study 6 hours straight, and it's just a thing that people have to do if they are interested in pursuing the sciences because there's so much information and so much stuff that you have to learn and absorb and really truly understand. Now, the but yeah, so dinosaurs. It just came down to the fact that even as a kid, I was into them, and I mean, around my room, I got all these posters of dinosaur evolution, and I don't know what it is. I just yeah, something about the terrible lizards. But yeah, so our survival evolved. Definitely a good game. I might do a couple videos on it. I am actually really quite terrible at the game. I'm not good at fighting the dinosaurs off. I I often find myself losing everything because my body is destroyed and guarded by a T Rex or something horrible. And I don't know. I stopped playing because I was getting frustrated by how long it took to harvest everything. I understand that nowadays they add in a whole bunch of dinosaurs you can tame to help that process out, which is a very cool aspect and quite fun. I just wish, in single player, you could tame dinosaurs faster. You shouldn't have to sit clicking a button for an hour to feed some grapes to a Triceratops just to get it to love you. Maybe in multiplayer that makes sense when you have multiple people and a tribe that can stand around and guard the dinosaur, but in single player it just stinks. And I know that they've been working on that, and I definitely want to get back to the game at some point. So yeah, I'll probably do a let's play of that. But God, I'm so sorry how quickly we are getting off topic. But anyway, survival games, building games. That's definitely one to check out. And I do like the idea of having to go out and collect resources, but at the end game, I really feel that you kind of need to just make things a little bit easier on the player. After a while, like Minecraft survival, that's the one thing. Like mining's great. I know ways to automate it and make it go faster. But unless you have a podcast or something to listen to, it becomes a chore. And even with distractions while you're mining, it's just I don't get why they make it so that you can't without mods. mind you. There are plenty of mods out there for Minecraft that fix this issue and make give you quarries and things of that nature. But I don't know. It's kind of a frustration of the game that they don't. Apart from getting better tools, they don't really make it easier to collect resources in the base game, the vanilla Minecraft. Which is one reason why I think people tend to do the mods a lot more often, especially for Let's Plays and because after a while it gets kind of boring, and to have to say, oh, I spent 2 hours mining off camera to get these 10 diamonds, it's just, ugh. But what I'm hopeful for is with all the mining robots and lumberjack robots and other things of that nature, this game is going to avoid that issue, and eventually you'll be able to build robots. They can do the work while you continue to play and run your crazy little factory/base, which I think is a very smart move. I think one thing this game does really, really well is it makes everything, all the controls, very intuitive. Now, I've been talking for a while, and I'm sure folks want to see if this thing is gonna work. So let's do that. Here we go. Here we go. Well, it rises faster. It's certainly a light show. Look at that. That's pretty, actually. I enjoy. Whoop. I enjoy that immensely. Ooh. Let's see if we can right ourselves a little bit. What is he doing? It's like when the engines are gunning, he's nervous, but when they're not, he's just chillaxing. Okay, now he looks a little nervous. Still getting that issue where the initial... yeah. I know, we know a way to fix it. It's just going to be a pain, because it means I have to undo and redo all the stuff. Just everything has to be changed. Kind of. I'm gonna do it. Obviously, we're gonna keep testing this guy out, but it's also a little bit, a little frustrating. And actually, I'm not even sure how well it will work for lining these up. Yeah. This helicopter, I swear, it's I thought it would be something I'd be done in 2 hours, and it's taking so long to figure it all out. But I'm gonna tinker with it some more. I definitely have some other inventions I actually want to show you though. So I'll keep tinkering it, and as it improves, I'll show you, here's prototype 1, 2, 3, here's, as we move forward with it. And eventually I'm hopeful that it'll actually be a thing. Right now it's also getting kind of further and further away from being a helicopter. I mean, yeah, things spin, sure, but no helicopter I've seen has rocket engines all around it. I don't know it. After a while, you kind of start to question why am I trying so hard on something that is getting further and further away from the initial idea? We'll see how it goes. Anyways, what I'm hoping though is I have some other gizmos I want to try out, and what we'll probably do is start off the next episode actually showcasing one of those, just for some variety, just for a little bit of, just mixing it up a bit. But it is encouraging to know that I think we figured out I am bucking up against the side of the world there. At least the shadow kind of looks like a helicopter. The shadow really... See that down there? Oh. This is cool. You can get stuck on the edge of the world. That's actually... I might enter that. I kind of... kind of think that looks pretty cool, actually. I could pretend like it's a helicopter. Dun, 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 dun. And then I stop and slide down. It's almost like when you see like a bird or something hit a windshield and just slowly slide down.